Ouch. So last week I increased my dose and I really felt it. Sorry I missed my regular video last week, but with the increased dose I couldn't find the energy to get off the couch all weekend. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan, and for the last 19 weeks I've been chelating using the Andy Cutler Chelation protocol to resolve my mercury issues and making regular videos on my progress. If you want to see how I got where I am, check out this video. On my chelation journey until recently, I was taking 3 mg of DMSA and ALA per dose. Last week I took 5 mg of ALA and 6.25 mg of DMSA per dose, and it really knocked me back. I wanted to try increasing my dose so I could see how I felt, and so I know which dose of chelators to buy the next time I place an order. I'm now pretty confident that I should wait a little while longer before increasing my dose. I took doses every 3 hours or 4 hours during the night, and I took my version of the Core 4 both on and off round. I'm also taking some other supplements to support me on my journey. You can find out more in this video. Probably the biggest symptom that I had last week was extreme lethargy. I was feeling really low in the week before my increased dose, likely because I deviated from my normal diet, but last week it was really harsh. On round I couldn't find the energy to do anything at all, and off round I collapsed every day after work and skipped one of my regular social engagements. I also felt very extreme emotions, particularly sadness and dread. My manager at work bought me a hyacinth for my birthday recently. It quickly grew to be a very beautiful plant, but then as hyacinths apparently do, it quickly wilted. I remember looking at it last weekend and wanting to cry because I found it so sad that such a beautiful plant looked like it was dying. I've now learned that that's what hyacinths do, and I'll plant it out in the garden and look forward to seeing it grow again next year. But with the increased dose, I was pretty overwhelmed at such a simple thing. Since I started chelating, I've been feeling dread and unfounded negativity from time to time, and it was more intense this week. One example of this is getting towards the end of Sunday and before the beginning of my work week on Monday, when I was even more overwhelmed than usual about having to go to work when I feel so bad all the time. Another relates to YouTube and what I'm wanting to achieve on the platform. As well as this channel, I'm working on a channel to support my business of making resources for role-playing games. Every time I saw that someone had posted a comment on one of my videos on that channel this week, the first place my mind went to was that someone had criticised me and I didn't want to read the comment. This isn't nonsensical, as I have had negative comments in the past, but every time it turned out to be a positive comment. Fortunately, I don't feel the same for comments on this channel because every comment has been positive. It's really important that we look out for each other when we're on this crazy journey. It's really awkward not being able to trust the emotions that you feel. I guess the trick to all this is to constantly remind yourself that you're reacting the way you are because you're poisoned, and it will get better over time. I also had pretty constant tinnitus and the grinding feeling that I get in my right gum all last weekend on round and most evenings off round. My skin also became really dry on my forehead and the top of my back again. This had been an issue for some time, but it had started to clear up, and the increased dose seemed to make it worse again. If you're on a chelation journey or any other healing journey, it's likely to take some time, so it's important to find as many positives in it as you can. I now know that I'll keep my dose where it is for a while longer, and while I didn't much like the effects of taking the higher dose, I'm glad that I tried. I'm also really happy that when I began chelating, I chose to start on just 3 mg per dose. I felt so bad on my first week of chelation on that dose that I wouldn't like to think how I would have felt had I taken the dose I took last week. I've had issues with the skin above my right ear for some time now, and it's starting to clear up. The skin was dry, sore, sensitive and peeling off, but it's getting much better now, and I expect it will be back to normal within a couple of weeks or so. While it's odd noticing weird symptoms like this, I like to think that my body is busy repairing damage in a specific area, and that's why I'm getting the symptoms. It's a comforting thought. So I tried something out and I suffered temporarily as a result. It wasn't the first time, it won't be the last, and I don't regret it. I had been chelating for some time and I felt a lot better than I did when I first began. And the dose I tried was the next dose up from my supplier, so it isn't like I turned it up to 11. If I were to give some advice on increasing your dose, it would be to reflect on how you're feeling and only increase your dose if you think you could tolerate feeling much worse. If you decide to increase your dose, try to minimize the increment as much as possible, and if it impacts you negatively, consider returning to your previous dose. As with everything on your chelation journey, go easy on yourself, love yourself, and do as much self-care as you can. If everything feels like it's too much, try to find some positives, even if they're small, and remind yourself that you're only feeling so low because you're poisoned, and you won't be if you continue chelating. As always, if you think you're mercury poisoned, I hope this video helps you convince yourself that you're not crazy, you're not alone, and you can heal. Until next time, all the best on your healing journey.